Hello there. I am popping on live to chat with Dr. Cates, who is an amazing clinician who has just come out with a new book. And, sorry, I'm just trying to type her name in here to see if we can get her to pop on. And there we are, invite. So I'm hoping that this works. Yes, success.
Hey.
Hallelujah. Thank you. I'm so sorry about that.
That's okay. That's okay. No worries.
Here we are.
Yes, here we are. Okay, great.
So,
I
yes.
know we're trying to do a live over on my Instagram, and now we're on yours. This is good.
So,
Huh.
hey, your book just came today. Thank you so much.
Okay, great.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's a natural beauty reset. It's finally
Yes.
September 13th is actually when it goes on sale for people to purchase. And it's been you know how it is to write a book. It's a lot of work, but it's also fabulous to get out something. It's I think oftentimes we write books because we have something that we're saying over and over and over to patients, and we realize, wow, I'm doing this one-on-one with patients, and this is great, but what if I could get it out to hundreds, thousands, maybe a million, people that need to hear this?
The
And
world.
right, the world. And so that's what books are about, right? So more people can have access to it. Not everybody can fly out to see us or can afford appointments and things. So, but you can get a lot of information in a book, right?
Yeah. 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 And Trevor is such an amazing person. She walks the talk. She is the best billboard and advertisement for her products, for her books, for just for everything that she does, because she really does walk the talk, and that's one of the things that I love the most about you.
Oh,
So yeah, yes.
great.
So
I think it wouldn't be wise to recommend all these things for other people to do if you don't do them yourself, right? So,
yeah,
um, it's definitely, it's something like, with our kids, I think we set a good example. We try and do our best to be good role models. And so to inspire other people that say, oh, there's no way I can do it that way. I just can't eat healthy. It's just not possible to be busy and have, raise kids and work and eat healthy. Yeah, he's like, that's just not possible. And then you can't sleep at night. He's like, yes, you can. You can actually do it. But if you're not doing it yourself, then you can't. It's definitely not as convincing.
that's right. Totally, exactly. And you have three children, right? I take my hat off to people who have, well, obviously one, but more than one. It kind of ups the ante, right? So it is you we put a lot of limits on ourselves, and I think it's important to understand that you are able to do these things. It's just it really does come down to prioritizing and putting into place the things that matter the most to you. And I think we've discounted our health a lot, and especially in Canada, where we often think that everything's going to be provided for us. And the most important vehicle you have is your brain and your body. And so you want to invest in that and
Yeah.
make that a priority, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think with this book and with my docu-series Hormones, Health and Harmony, which you're on my docu-series, I interviewed you for that, is that the thing about being in practice for 22 years is I was hearing so many questions about hormones. How is it that they're impacting my health in so many ways? And I was hearing so many myths, as I'm sure you are, of, oh, well, this is just, a normal part of being a woman or of getting older and having issues with mood swings or more physical issues like difficulties with sleep or period problems, a lot of different hormonal imbalances that show up in our health, and hormonal acne, or a lot of things that women go through, we go through throughout our lives. And we oftentimes just don't know that there are actually solutions for these beyond like an antidepressant or a birth control pill, just that just doesn't address the root cause.
Yeah. And I find that we've really medicalized everything to do with our hormones. So whether it's, again, whether it's you have difficult periods, you have painful periods, you're not having a period, you have PCOS, endometriosis, whatever the diagnosis that you have, it's really important to understand that really it's often comes down to hormone imbalances. And if we can just address that and restore you back to function and balance, you won't be plagued by the symptoms, right, that you may be plagued with at the moment. And one of my big pet peeves with, and I hear it every single day, is, oh, I went on the birth control pill to regulate my cycle. And it's so important for women to understand that is not a regulating treatment. That is a suppressive treatment. And yeah, and I was just going to say, and in addition to that, there's nutrients that get depleted. So there's the prescriptions you take deplete your nutritional status. And in particular, the irony with the birth control pill is it depletes those B vitamins, of which you need to make your hormones. So
and stress response. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's just a big myth that is perpetuated to this day. And I think really if women, I'm not saying not to go on the birth control pill, don't be clear. That's not necessarily what I'm saying. But I'm saying you should only be going on the birth control pill for one reason only. And that's to avoid a pregnancy. And you know what? There's other ways to do that too. Right? So
yes. And I, you know, it's so many women also like around perimenopause. It's oftentimes, you know, when girls are going through puberty or during perimenopause that they're put on birth control pills, and it's not really necessarily a time where that's the, you know, it's like we're trying to prevent pregnancy necessarily, but that we're, you know, dealing with these imbalances and fluctuations in the hormones. And what it does is just sort of shuts everything down rather than creating true balance. And another thing that it does is mess with our gut microbiome. And our gut microbiome is so important for our hormonal health and our hormonal balance. So here you are putting, you know, women getting put on birth control pills for first, you know, helping with their, you know, PMS and period problems and things. And then they go off of it, and they now not only are they dealing with whatever the root cause that was never addressed, but now you're dealing with all of the side effects in addition to it. And these are the people that you and I see in our practice, right? The women that are ready to go off of it, have gone off of it, are like, why are, you know, like everything's coming back with a vengeance, all the things I had issues with, and I'm actually feeling worse. Or women who are like, well, now I want to get pregnant, so now I'm going off of the birth control pill, but now they're dealing with all of the effects of that. And I know with you talk with in your book, you talk about beyond the label, beyond all of that, and so many people are women are also put on antidepressants. It's another thing that it's like, oh, you're feeling moody. Well, here, just go on an antidepressant. That'll take care of everything. But not looking at, okay, well, why are you having these mood issues? Why is this happening to you? Do you have low progesterone? Do you have high cortisol? Is there emotional trauma that needs to be addressed? What is it that is triggering this? And so I know it's got to be hard for you to always, you know, hear so many people that are put on antidepressants too. Causes.
Yeah. And it's a big thing that is not only, I mean, it's very common at perimenopause to go into the doctor and express what you're experiencing and to walk out with an antidepressant, but to really understand that from a root cause, that's not the macro system really, that is probably the primary one that's having an imbalance, and it's your hormones. So an antidepressant isn't going to solve that. You might feel better going on it, but it's not, when you go off of it, you're going to end up where you started, because you haven't addressed the hormonal piece of the picture. And it happens to teenage girls too, right? They start to experience some shifts in their mood, and people might understand it's related to hormones, but they still prescribe them an antidepressant. So these things are, again, some sort of another myth that we want to look at. And in my own case, I had so many struggles with my mental health that when I did start, I started in the pharmaceutical path, and I got better for about 2 weeks of the month, and 2 weeks of the month I continued to struggle, which I didn't know because I was not, in the medical field at that time. I had no idea. Now in hindsight, I realize, oh my gosh, that was my hormones that were completely out of balance, and I suffered, and the people around me suffered. And I think the big message that we want to get across to people is that you don't have to suffer. You can find solutions for these problems that you're experiencing, whether it's depression or anxiety or hormonal acne or not sleeping or eating issues. There are solutions to be had that lie beyond just taking a pill for every ill.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and so I want to make sure people know where to go to see your interview and the other 50 experts on the docu-series.
Mm-hmm.
You have a link that you probably have shared with people that are on your email list,
Mm-hmm.
or people can just go to hormoneseries.com and register for that. You want to make sure that you register your spot, because that's how we will send you the link to watch the docu-series for free. So if you just go register, and we'll send you an email on September 13th with the link to episode 1. So you have 24 hours to watch it for free. And then we'll take that down and put up episode 2, and we'll go through all 9 episodes that way. And Dr. Chris is in a bunch of the episodes, so you want to watch them all so that you can see her. And hormones.com. And then also, I hope people go grab a copy of Natural Beauty Reset. Comes out the same day, September 13th. And this is a 7-day program to harmonize hormones and restore radiance. I talk a lot about skin, and skin being our largest organ and being on the surface of our bodies, it gives us a lot of clues about our overall health. And when it comes to hormones and skin, a lot of women experience like hormonal acne, or they might notice their skin is drier, duller. They might notice premature aging, and these can be early warning signs that something is out of balance in the body. And so we definitely want to pay attention to that, rather than just use this suppressing, covering up kind of approach. So that's what I talk about in the book. And I also have a seasonal aspect in the book. And I don't know if you something that you've noticed, Chris, that with seasonal changes, and the need for changing things up for seasons. Our seasonal eating provides a lot more nutrients in our food when we eat locally, and foods in season taste a lot better too. And then our mood changes with the seasons, with the change in where the sun is. It's not just affecting our sleep, but it's also affecting our mood. I'm sure this is something you see a lot in your practice.
Mm-hmm. A lot, and especially since I live in what's considered the north, it does make a big difference. Not only from the mood, but the skin piece too. Where we are, it's quite dry, so your skin is a reflection of the inside, and a lot of people treat it from the outside, and that's where, if you follow Dr. Cates's work and her book and her programs, you will learn to the title of her other book is called Clear Skin, or Clean Skin, or From Within. So it's this within piece, right? That's important to understand, that your skin is a reflection of the inside, and that's what we want to be working on. So, and I can't speak highly enough about the hormone docu-series. I had such amazing feedback from people who watched it, the previous run of it. So if you missed that and you were regretting it, now's your opportunity to catch it, and try not to miss it. It's really, really well done. Really well done.
Yeah. So our colleague Pedram does a lot of these docu-series. His team said it's the best docu-series they've ever done.
Oh, really?
They were very impressed with how it came out. They were impressed with all of the different experts that I interviewed, including you, and how it all came together. And Yeah, I think one of the things that was really profound is how these experts share their personal stories. And that includes you, Chris, and how you were so vulnerable and willing to share your journey and how low things got for you. And that's what some of these other experts they share is this is where I came from. It's not always been like this. I know
No.
right now I looks like everything is great and I'm all put together, but that's not how it's always been. And so people who are struggling, it's essential for them to see this, to see what's possible, because these experts not only helped turn their own lives around, you know, gynecologists who completely transform the way that they practice and see patients because of their own personal struggles that then led them to look for more of a functional medicine approach. And then they went on to change their practice as well. And so, you know, and then also naturopathic doctors like the two of us who we had this training all along in our medical school training, but we had a journey that got us there. I mean, everybody's got a story. We all have struggles, but there are ways to get through it, and you're not alone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the key. This month as well is basically Suicide Awareness Month, and so it's important. And it's actually the World Suicide Awareness Day is on Saturday, the 10th. So it's really important. I know a lot of people are struggling. I know that mental health is continuing to be on the rise, and the pandemic did not help that at all. In fact, it, I think, just created more of a spotlight onto the, you know, highlighting the problems that are underlying for many of us. So I think I want, you know, you know, as you know, Trevor, I do stand here as a suicide survivor and as somebody who has really felt that I was alone. But the reality is, you know, you're not. And I want to, you know, I made that a career change from being in business, working in the corporate world, reporting to a CEO, to change my whole life to become a naturopathic doctor for the sole purpose that I could help people who were struggling the way that I have struggled, and wanting to be that example, wanting to be that vision of yes, you can get through this, even if it's super dark for you right now. So it takes, though, just one step for you to turn towards possibility and away from the fact that this idea or belief that I'm never going to get better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. It's so important to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you, Chris.
Yeah.
Thanks for your patience in helping us figure out the tech issues with
Well,
Instagram. But thank you so much. And thanks everybody for joining us.
thank you. Okay. Lots of love to you.
Bye.
Bye.